moving right along to the top string triangle section, I've tied another starter knot. This time I'm going to feed in this string through the second sidewall hole and pull it right through so it's extending out the front side of the mesh. Then I'm going to go down through this top string hole. Sorry that the strings are all white, but we had an order for this, and Derek didn't want to string it himself, and he was like, "Oh, Chris, why don't you do a tutorial for the Centrik U? Ho, ho, ho." Yeah, blame it on Derek, when in doubt. Okay, we're going to go down to the left side. How do you feel about that, Derek?
That's fun.
So down to the left side of this mesh bridge on the back side. So here we're basically stringing the half of the mesh that we didn't string the first time. So I'm pulling this down nice and tight. Now the key here is I'm going to pinch this with my thumb and come up to the right side. But what's really important here is once I feed it back through the back side of the scoop, I don't want to just yank this up like crazy. And as you can see, what that does is that's going to pull up this mesh and expose it and make it prone to ripping, right? So I'm really leaving it kind of slack. If anything, as I'm tightening it, I'm going to keep my thumb here nice and firm so that as I'm pulling that tension down, this back side of the mesh is still protected. And the strings will wear down before the mesh does, which is very important. Is this a pain? Absolutely. So the reason we do this top string is just to keep everything more centered. It helps us out with the other stringers we have that come in from time to time. Keep everything the quality control high. So this is just the way we do it. Not saying it's a perfect method by any means, but I like the way it works. So now if we go back to the front side here, we're going to string this triangle part just like we would a regular triangle. So we're going down to the right side of that mesh bridge and up to the left side of it. So we're stringing that bridge for the triangle section. Also, what you guys are going to see is as you're stringing this top string and pulling down the sides, you can see a little bit more space is created up top. So sometimes if you're doing this, I usually string in the triangle part at the very end, but if you aren't, if you're doing it right after you do the top string, just pull down a little bit so it situates the mesh like it's going to end up. Now I'm going down through this third scoop hole, pulling it a little bit tight. Also, I want to make sure that I'm not yanking this section and pulling that so there's a gap in between the triangle section and the base section, just so more aesthetically than anything else. And then coming on the back side again, going down to the left side of that mesh bridge, pinching it as I come back up so I'm not pulling up that mesh diamond, going up to the right side, down through that scoop hole, and pulling it, making sure that mesh bridge is hidden behind. Down to the right side of the mesh bridge, and up, and now we're going to fast forward through. So here we are at the very end of this. I've just come out that last top string hole. Same thing as I did on this side. I'm just going to go right from the inside out of the second sidewall hole and tie that same finishing knot that I did on the top string. So I'm tying just a simple overhand knot to start, but as you can see there's a little bit of space here, so I'm going to wrap another overhand knot around so it falls right underneath the first one and fills up that space. And voila, you have yourselves a lovely triangle top string on your Maverik Centrik U.